Hi there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and boys, this is a special poster from 1969 from the spring at Merriweather Post Pavillion outside of Baltimore. No less than Led Zeppelin and the Who together on the same bill for the only time in their entire careers. This is the only time the two played on the same stage together on the same day. Interestingly, there was going to be another one, a second one, 1 week later in St. Louis, Missouri, but Zeppelin canceled out on that one for reasons unclear. But this show did go on, and what a fun, nice poster. It's just a pastel masterpiece, if you will, of pinks and greens and yellows. There's very little black, as you can see, and so it's very colorful with those three colors. A pink stripe along the bottom with ticket sale information, and only from what I could see, just a little bit of white. And that would be the dirigible off in the distance behind Led Zeppelin's name. That's really a cool touch. Now, unfortunately, we don't know the poster artist who did this. He remains an anonymous, unknown local, and such was the case in the 1960s. It would just often happen that way. Please forgive the reflection, by the way, and occasional glare, because this is in a mint condition original, and so it's in protective plastic, and I think it's best to keep it that way. It is a silkscreen poster and measures 22 by 28 inches, and like everything good, of course, it's been knocked off and bootlegged, but this is definitely a stone original. So now Led Zeppelin was fairly new. In fact, yeah, they were pretty new. Their first album tour. So they were touring off what was just called Led Zeppelin at the time. Now it's referred to as Led Zeppelin 1, and it was number 15 on Billboard's album charts, so they weren't totally unknown. They were just new on the scene, you could say. And the Who was established a bit through hit singles like Happy Jack and I Can See for Miles. What's interesting, at least Who did have the recognizable name factor, whereas Zeppelin was so new on the scene in 1969 that the tickets for the concert actually misspelled their name. And here's a framed ticket stub. Hopefully I can achieve the feat of going in for you. And you can see it says The Who and L-E-A-D Zeppelin. So still pronounced lead, but I'm afraid the wrong spelling on that one. Luckily not on the poster, just on the tickets. They would have had to redo the posters, I imagine, if they had misspelled that badly. So anyway, Tommy had just been released for The Who and was making a bit of noise, just been out for a few weeks. You know, they were still sort of considered a singles band until the critics and the public really got hold of Tommy as rock's first masterpiece. Remember that quote? So in the FM rock world, you know, both acts were sort of, you could call them up-and-comers creating good buzz. And boy, what we wouldn't give to go back in time and see these two up-and-comers, huh? But what's funny is that it also depends on who you talk to and which person puts together which advertisement and so forth. Here's a full-page ad from the Washington Free Press, and look at this, how different it is. You've got Led Zeppelin listed first, and you've got them on top in the graphic there above the Who, and it's a Led Zeppelin themed graphic altogether with the dirigible, you know, in the sky. So that's pretty interesting how Zeppelin dominated this full-page ad in the local magazines and newspapers, but when it came to the poster, there was no such dominance by Led Zeppelin, so it's interesting to notice those differences. One thing that nothing notes, tickets, advertisements, or posters, the opening act was an adult comedian called Uncle Dirty, and he had an album out on Elektra Records in 1971. Now Zeppelin was, they opened the show and they were playing a lot of things from their first album, like Dazed and Confused and How Many More Times, and blues covers like Train Kept a Rollin' from the Yardbirds days and I Can't Quit You Baby. And their encores would be, you can call it rare at the time, an early version of Whole Lotta Love. And there are tapes available of it. It's still undergoing its arrangement phase, because Zeppelin was actually in the middle of recording that very song, and we can certainly say that classic landmark single from later in '69, Whole Lotta Love. They were recording it in early May and June, and this concert was in late May. So there you had Whole Lotta Love performed here right between the two recordings. That's pretty darn cool. And then, when it comes to the Who, I didn't zero in on either name, but certainly, you know, there's the Who, and there's Led Zeppelin with the fun, you know, obtuse lettering that psychedelic posters of the era so enjoyed. So, let's see, we had the Who coming on next, and Zeppelin had to be tossed off the stage, if you can believe it. There was actually there's actually a solid account from somebody who is named, and that's crew member John Wolfe of the Who told the coffee table book Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere that he pulled the plug on Led Zeppelin. So, boy, maybe that's why Zeppelin canceled a week later, right? That'd be a very good reason right there. You think Peter Grant's going to put up with that for long? Zeppelin's manager. But we can assume it was after Whole Lotta Love because, as I said, that performance is existent on tape. So, 20,000 fans packed into Merriweather Post Pavillion for this show. Very historic show, that's for sure, with tickets at $5.75 reserved and $3.75 on the grass. You can see that pink stripe down there giving some of those details. And in reading press reports and stories about the show, according to the promoter, good seats were still available the day of the show. That's probably just promoter talk to try to sell more tickets. But anyway, great poster, beautiful masterwork, and what a concert with those two total Hall of Fame institutions. Just so much fun to envision going back and imagining. So, hope you enjoyed the poster and the ticket stub today, and thanks for coming by, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.